Panasonic, the heart of your system.
Hello, Briony here from Kit Guru, and in this video I'm taking a look at the Elgato Cam Link 4K. If you've clicked on this video, you probably already know what this is and what it does, but if not, and you're just browsing our YouTube channel and you really love Kit Guru and you want to watch a video on something you'll probably never buy, then I will explain to you exactly what it does. So the Cam Link 4K, this is an updated version of the Elgato Cam Link that came out last year. The 4K version obviously does 4K video, and it is like a little USB dongle, and it basically allows you to turn any like compatible DSLR, like an action cam, like a GoPro, or like a video cam recorder into a webcam that your PC recognizes that you can use with like OBS and Skype and things, any recording software that uses a webcam. I'm hoping that it works with shadow play, as that's what I use to screen record. So yeah, as you can see, I haven't actually opened it up yet. It costs £120, so it's exactly the same price as the original Cam Link. This one just now does 4K, so it's quite nice that Elgato, which is now owned by Corsair, they haven't put the price up. They could have easily kept producing the 1080p version and then put a premium on the 4K version, but they haven't done that. It is £120 though, so it is quite an expensive piece of kit, but I think if you've already got a really nice camera, you create content and you want to bring that camera quality to your live streaming, then I think it does make sense. But maybe if you're someone that doesn't have an existing camera already, I think you can get a 4K webcam for about £160, so it's only £40 more, and you do get like a entire webcam on its own. You don't have to buy the very expensive camera, so I think it's more for people that already have an existing setup and they just want to use it for live streaming, because of course now like 1080p is great and all, but people are like getting more and more demanding with content. Like 4K is becoming slightly more mainstream, so this does make sense if you have got the internet to use it. Streaming 4K, I can never do it on my internet, but if you have got the internet speeds to do that, then I think it does make sense to get as best quality as you possibly can. There's a few more people using 4K monitors and stuff now. My use case that I think I will mainly use it for, like in the long term, is it also works so you can record straight from your camera straight onto a laptop or hard drive on your PC. There's no messing around with like SD cards and stuff, which is really appealing to me. And also if you've got a laptop that's powerful enough, so it does have minimum specifications, I'll put them up on screen. It's not too bad. It's like a 4th gen i5 or better basically. So any like gaming laptop, recently produced gaming laptop is probably going to be powerful enough to use this with, and it means you can also like monitor while you're filming as well, because sometimes like when I'm recording, one setting is like always slightly off. I do struggle with my camera sometimes, and it's quite hard to tell what's going on the tiny little screen. So I think being able to like monitor on a full-size laptop screen while recording, and also record straight to a PC where I don't have to mess around with the SD card, it's like really appealing to me. So I'm babbling on, let's open this box up and see what you get inside. So I'm going to try not to hurt myself. As you can tell, I haven't actually opened it yet. I've been waiting to do this video so I could open it on camera and see what we get. It's kind of like a first impressions unboxing kind of video, I guess. But it does seem like a very nifty piece of kit. And if you've definitely already got a good camera, then it should come in handy. Okay, so couple of tabs to cut. I'm trying to see so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, because it is sort of off camera. This is on the inside. Here we go. So open it up. It's got a little picture, and then this is the actual USB itself. So it's quite big actually. I was expecting it maybe to be slightly smaller, but it has a HDMI port at one end and a USB at the other end. I think it requires USB 3, so make sure that you use a USB 3 port. And then, yeah, HDMI, and then HDMI cable into, I think I've got a mini HDMI on my camera. I did have to buy a cable because it didn't come with the camera, which is why this video was slightly delayed, because I had to wait for the cable to arrive, but I realised. And then also it comes with a extender as well, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to get it where you want it, I guess, and plug it in. I think you get a sticker if you care about that stuff, and you also get I think that's a little warranty guide as well. So it does come with a warranty. I imagine 1 year or 2 years. Does not say. It'll at least be a year anyway, but there's not much that can go wrong with it, I'd imagine. But it feels pretty decent. It's basically just like plastic housing. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. It says Cam Link on it. It's got some information on the back about recycling it and what model it is and where it's made and the serial number. But the thing itself is pretty basic. So let's get it set up. I'm going to plug my camera into my PC and we can take a look at the software, take a look at the quality, make sure, play around with the sound as well. I'm hoping that it uses my camera sound, but we'll have to find out whether it's going to work like I normally record or whether I have to use my headset instead of getting the sound from my camera. But yeah, let's see how easy it is to set up and what the software's like. Okay, so you can now see that I've got everything set up. It's a little bit ghetto, but this is basically how I record like my gameplay videos. My camera off to the left here, and then sort of I record separately and then edit together later. Whereas now I should be able to record everything at once. So I use a Panasonic GH4. You can see that I've got it set up. I've used this like little funny tripod thing that I got on Amazon. That wasn't too expensive. I'm currently recording using the Pocket Osmo camera from DJI. So this, I hope it's going to come in handy. I've not had it very long. Hopefully the quality looks okay. It's going to be a lot better than my mobile phone anyway. At least I can show you how I've got everything set up. So yeah, Panasonic GH4 all set up. I've got the display flipped around so I can see what's happening. You can see me recording myself on there. And then I've got my microphone plugged in that I use, sort of bundled on the desk here. And it does appear that the sound does actually work. So that is really neat. Yeah, the camera sound works with the 4K capture software, which I've got open on the screen and we'll take a closer look at in a second. And then up the top here, I've got the actual Cam Link 4K itself plugged into the USB 3 port on the top of my PC, and then I've got a HDMI to mini HDMI cable going all the way down around the back of my monitor and into my camera. But it was very straightforward to set up. It didn't really cause me any issues plugging everything in. It was very quick and easy. I don't have like the most fancy setup, obviously, as you can tell. I'm just using this little tripod thing, but it does work very well. So let's take a look at the software and then I'll talk to you about what I found out about shadow play and things. Hello again. So I've shown you how everything's all set up with my Panasonic GH4. I'm now recording the screen so you guys can see the software and see what the camera looks like. Obviously it looks so much better than a typical webcam would, but you would expect that. It's literally the camera quality going straight onto my PC. So it does look fantastic. There's a couple of issues I did come across which I'll quickly talk about. So the software and the Cam Link 4K and the camera, they seem to be a little bit picky as to what order you do something in. I did find that if I like closed the software and then went back into it, I ended up with like a black screen sometimes, or sometimes it didn't detect that the Cam Link 4K was plugged in. The best way I found to sort of solve this issue was to ensure that the Cam Link 4K was plugged into my PC and plugged into the camera, but the camera was off, and then open the software, wait for the software to detect, so it will go from like no device detected to no signal, and then when it says no signal, turn on the camera, and then it seems to work fine. But do it in any other order. I did come across a few issues. Also, I can't seem to get it to work with shadow play. So the webcam, it definitely worked as a webcam because Windows detects it as a webcam. It'll work with Skype, it'll work with OBS, the Windows camera app detects as a webcam, but for some reason shadow play, even though it detects that I've got a webcam plugged in, when I go to screen record it doesn't put the webcam in the screen recording. So I think that is a shadow play thing, because I did try and look for a fix online and a few people seem to have like the same issue, but with random webcams. Don't think it's a Cam Link thing, but it's something I'll play around with anyway. But it just means I can't do any sort of show you how it works with shadow play basically. But I think if you're someone that is like a streamer, you're probably going to use like OBS. I should go back to OBS. I'm being a bit lazy. I've been using shadow play a lot recently. I have used OBS in the past, in which case it should work perfectly fine with that. So let's take a look at the software. So I'll open up the settings, I'll move it to the side just so you can see me talking about it. So it starts with the general tab. So you've got the option to enable stream link, so that will, as far as I know, it should just stream straight to Twitch, but it only works with 1080p 60. So if you do want to make the most of the fact you've got a 4K camera and can record in 4K, I think it's probably best to add the camera to OBS as a webcam separately, rather than sort of like going the cheating way around and using the stream link. Of course, it is in beta as well, so hopefully they will add 4K in the future. You can check for updates, so you see what software version you've got and make sure everything's updated. There's the option to change the device. I've only got the one plugged in, so I can't like change what it is. It tells you what firmware version it is and that it's updated as well. And then also it has options to play around with the picture settings, so that's quite handy. I can change it so I am bright green, like the Hulk. And move that back, and then brightness, contrast, saturation, etc. And then you've also got the recording option. So this is what I think I'm going to use the Cam Link for mostly, like in the long term. I'm not really going to be streaming in 4K. I don't Twitch stream or anything, so I'm going to use that as a way to record straight onto my PC and to also monitor what's happening as well, which seems to work fine. There is a slight delay. I don't think you'll notice it because of the way I'm recording this, but from me moving my hands to them appearing on screen, there's like half a second maybe. It's not much of a delay, but there is definitely a delay. So probably won't have any problems if you're streaming or anything, but maybe when I'm filming, a slight delay might be a little bit annoying, like when I'm monitoring, but yeah, it is negligible basically. So yeah, so I've got it set up so you can change the location of where you record to, you can decide what puts in the work, so my GPU, and then also the format, which I found was quite interesting because the Cam Link 4K is supposed to be 4K 30 FPS, but they seem to have an option for 4K 60, so I don't know if that's like a weird bug or something, or maybe you can do 4K 60, but they've advertised it as 4K 30 as the maximum. And then you've also got options to change the bitrate and reduce preview frame rate. I'm guessing that maybe makes it less demanding when you're monitoring it. I'm not too sure. And then also enable the flashback recording. So it's sort of like, remember, if you're gaming and you want to be like, oh, I did something really cool like 10 minutes ago, it will like remember for you, which is a similar setting I think you can have in shadow play as well. But overall, I do quite like it. Like I said, I did come across a couple of issues, but in general, I do think that it's slightly picky, and also shadow play just being weird. I think you'll have no problems if you're using like OBS or just using the software like it is now, just to like record your face, like I will probably use it for. That seems to work perfectly fine, and it's very easy to set up. The software is easy to download. It's not a very big download, so it doesn't take up loads of space. And yeah, I do quite like it. I'm going to grab the box, do my outro. So Cam Link 4K, £120. I think if you've already got a good camera, then it's worth it. If you're maybe just getting into streaming and you're like, it's £120, and you got to buy the lighting, and you got to buy the camera, and you got to buy the lenses and stuff, it's probably not worth it. I think it's a really good option for people that maybe already have the kit and they just want to be able to use it with their PC, in which case I think £120 is worth it, but you can get a 4K webcam for £160. So if you haven't already got all the other stuff, it makes sense to go out and buy a webcam, whereas if you already have the stuff, I think this is a good option. £120, when it comes to camera equipment, £120 isn't that bad. When you think how much you can spend on some stuff, like tripods, like to me, I'm like, why is that tripod £1,000? But so when you look at it like that, it's not too bad, and it works as it should. So if you like this video from Kit Guru, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from Kit Guru, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to press the little bell icon as well, and you'll get a notification every time a new video goes live.